Ciao everybody, welcome to another episode of Riveting Trips with Jeanie Colclough. I'm here with my guest, Micol, from Palazzo Ripetta here in Rome. And we're gonna talk all about Rome and what to do with family and why Palazzo Ripetta is the perfect place for family vacation, right?
Thank you very much, first of all, for being here. And I think that doing it in person makes it even more real, actually.
And the backdrop of this room is a prestige room, right?
Yes, is our second category, and in particular, this is also a twinnable room. So one of the very good assets of this properties is that most of our rooms are twinnable. So I'm talking about families, especially when we have family options. So it means that we interconnect,
right?
Or we have two rooms which are interleading. It means that we have the corridor on the door, and then you can have 2 rooms, 3 rooms, or 4 rooms, in the solution we are now. So you can have up to 9 people. Most of the time, actually every time, one of the 2 rooms or 3 rooms is a twinnable room, so for kids.
Okay, so that's awesome, right? If you're traveling but you want your own personal space from your kids, as I would, with my own children, even if you're watching, I'm sorry. But yeah, can you tell us about the location of the Palazzo?
Palazzo Ripetta, I cannot consider it a new opening anymore because we are celebrating our 2nd year of operations soon in December. But it's probably one of the most interesting one, as we are a truly independent family, privately owned property. The family owns the building since 3 generations now, and we are talking about an Italian Roman family, which makes it the story even nicer in a way. And we reopened in December 2022 after a complete renovation that lasted 2 years. Location-wise, we are in between Piazza del Popolo and the Spanish Steps. Via di Ripetta, it's one of the streets that we call within the Trident, which is Via del Corso, Via di Ripetta, Via del Babbuino. So from Piazza del Popolo leads you to Piazza Venezia.
Right.
And Via di Ripetta is one.
So if you're at Piazza del Popolo and you're looking towards Piazza Venezia, there's the main drag, Piazza del Corso, but then Babbuino, and then you guys are on the other side. Right.
But one of the most interesting thing about this location, which I always, that's why I always take a map to show to my clients, is that we are just behind the river. So the Tiber is actually just going out from the hotel. On the left you have Piazza del Popolo, and then if you turn left again you have the river. And if you just cross the bridge, you're getting to Prati.
Yes.
Prati, it's a bit more of a local area. And if you take Via Colla di Rienzo, it will straight you to the Vatican.
Okay.
So the Vatican museums, the Sistine Chapel is a walk of about 20 minutes, and it's a whole straight walk. So it's a very nice way of combining the most touristic and interesting part of the city for our clients with a bit more of an authentic area where also Romans still live, where you have local shops, local restaurants, and you can still breathe a bit of a more of a Roman life.
I mean, I love the location because, as I was telling my other friend, when you step out of the hotel, you have the access of the city center right near you, right? You can walk to the Pantheon, you can walk to Piazza Navona, Colosseum, and so on and so forth. But once you come back to the hotel, it's like a serenity, right? You have this peace, you have the garden, you have your rooftop terrace, you have a lot of outdoor spaces for people, and outdoor space is a premium here in Rome.
Yeah, that's why everybody, when we have clients coming in and we say we only have 78 rooms, they say only because the building looks big.
Right.
So one of our luck is that also the room size pretty big. We start with the deluxe, which is the entry level, which is 25 square meters. That for Rome is not bad.
That's pretty big for Rome. Sometimes they start like 17 or 18.
Exact. And then we have a lovely Piazzetta Ripetta, which, as you said, is our garden, the rooftop, 2 different bars, internal and external. So the idea is that clients staying with us an average of 2 to 3 nights will be able to enjoy different experiences. So breakfast in the garden, a nice drink on the roof, a nice dinner at the San Bailon restaurant, So they have few options within the same property.
What about like experiences they could have with their families? How about cooking classes or any other activities where you can stay in the hotel and do those, or outside the hotel, close proximity to the hotel?
Actually, with cooking classes, we've done it a couple of times. We also have a kind of a certificate we give to the kids, like congratulations, you've done your first, second, or class. Of course, it's a bit more of a simple kind of experience we do here, and most of the time we did it related to desserts.
Okay.
So they were just finalizing a cake or making, their own beignet or filling up a cake. So we make it fun.
That sounds like fun. What other activities would you recommend near your hotel with families?
For families, like being walking distance to the Borghese Garden, we have this go-kart, we call it. So we pick them up in front of the door, then they bring them up to the park. When you have also the Borghese Garden, which is something that goes, that it's quite popular. More than Fiat 500 or now with the Vespas, people are not all the time, they might be a bit scared sometimes, and I understand why. So with this golf cart, they are pretty safe. Kids are fun. It's still an open air, so if it's a nice weather like today, they don't feel compressed in the car. Of course, we have different partners that can organize activities for kids, including, of course, the Vatican Museum, but with more of a target to them.
For the kids.
So, exactly. So something more in their tone of voice. Let's say. Families for us, we are a family hotel, so we have a family behind, and also the configuration of the rooms. We have some rooms on 2 floors, which allows your privacy downstairs.
Yes.
But then you have your kids on the 2nd floor, so are with you, but not too much with you.
Are the kids allowed in like the spa rooms, or are those for adults only?
No, this is only for adults.
Okay, so if you're here on a honeymoon or just a couples thing, do you want to talk about those for parents who maybe want to revisit this hotel after their kids are a little bit older?
Yeah, actually, there is this new generation of parents which is called empty nests.
Yes.
So I learned this new way of this phase of the life, so where your kids are at college or are just a bit grown up, and then you want to reconnect maybe to your partners after many years, and you have this second phase. Otherwise, we do also a lot of multi-generational trip.
So how would you work a multi-gen? Same thing, the room blocks and...
Exactly. So either the room block altogether, so we take an interleading option and we have 2-3 rooms, or we try to assign them as close as possible. Actually, I was pretty surprised, but like when you have a new opening or refurbishment like this one, you come and on project, like the architect brings you all this nice paper and they said, this room is going to be connected to this one. And then as director of sales and marketing, you start thinking, well, what do I need here? And this has to be a twin, this has to be a connecting, because you figured out all the options of things you're gonna be needing when you're selling a property. And that's why we have all this option, because we've been able to anticipate the needs of our clients. So a lot of interconnecting rooms of family, as we said, rooms with twinnable, which are interconnecting to a king. So we have kind of studied these options. Of course, if it's a bigger family, we try to put them all together. Although I have to say that sometimes they are together the whole day. So if they're not really close door to door, it doesn't really matter. But as soon as we know in advance what they need, we try to figure it out with the front office desk.
Yeah, and I think one thing that you can't really tell when booking a hotel room online is the feeling you get once you're at the hotel and you arrive at the hotel, right? You can't really package that, right? When clients are looking, they're looking at room rates, they're just looking at the rates, they're looking at the size of the room, maybe the location, and they're not really comparing apples to apples. You are really comparing like the level of service, I think, that I feel here versus other hotels.
That's why we have you here. That's why we need you here. That's why we need our travel advisors to come and to help us spreading, because for me it's like asking, how is your baby? Of course, it's the most beautiful one, although sometimes he has a bit of a... But on the other side, for me, it's really important to have you here, so you can help us like sharing this kind of experience. And actually, we're very open also in actually feedbacks. So as you said, we are affiliated to Relais Chateau. So this happened almost a year now. So when we opened the property, you know, I used to work for other companies and other property, and I was thinking this hotel should be this or that, you know, I had several ideas in mind. But then when I asked to my clients, so to travel advisors like you that came here or knew the property or assisted to a webinar, and I asked them, what do you think this property should be affiliated to? About 68% of the clients said that this was a good relationship. And that's what happened, because if you have the feeling that there is consistency in what we are, of course we applied and they came, we had a mystery shop, and of course the concept we have for food and beverage, which is so variegated, so high standard, of course, seasonal menus, but at the same time it's a comfort experience, so clients feel relaxed. That's why for families they have these big tables all together for dinner. They don't feel like they are in a place where
it's like unfussy, not pretentious, but still very high quality, high luxury.
This is one of the criteria to be added and included in Relais Chateau. So we knew we had the characteristics and the skills, but of course until we got them involved we didn't know. But for me, it was important to place this product in the market with consistency. So this is my story, this is my DNA, which is family, good food, sustainability. We try to be sustainable as much as possible. We don't have any plastic, no paper. We try to recycle water and waste all the time. So we are art and culture, the private art collection. We have the hotel starting from the big sphere you have from Arnaldo Pomodoro as soon as you step in on the property. So we have 4 pillars, which are very embedded, very strict in a way, but also very consistent in what is the product, and this makes it much easier to sell it. Actually, you have to be actually fair with yourself. You cannot be what you are not, and you have to work out what you have. So we have the historical palace, we have the amazing location, we have a new product, we have the family options, we have a good food, and we have to stay in this category.
You have to know what you are.
Not try to pretend to be something we're not.
Wow.
And that's what makes this property probably, that's why I was saying, one of the most interesting concepts, because it has so many different souls all in together, but they all combine very good together, and it makes the dress.
It's beautiful property. I mean, I highly encourage clients, if you like to be in the proximity of places, right? Lots of restaurants once you leave.
A lot of restaurants, a lot of bars. Rome nowadays is very, it's getting a bit more lively also in shoulder seasons, because you remember when you had clients coming asking for them in August, all the clients, all the travel agents were like, oh no, please don't go in August, everything is going to be closed. This is not the case
doesn't exist anymore, I don't think, in Rome.
It's raising up a lot in Christmas and New Year. We are seeing a very nice base of business already for that time of the year, where usually Rome
I think it's a good time to come because it's not too cold, right?
Not Italy and Rome are never too cold.
Not too cold.
Also, because I'm a very honest person all the time, I'll tell you that coldest month in Rome is February.
Okay.
So if you want to avoid the coldest month, it's February. And but it's true that the temperature will never get to what our clients might be used if they go to the north or some other countries in Europe. So we try, of course, to have activities and things also for the shoulder season, which is probably better because of the less crowd and less people around. Although I have to say that everything happens outside. As soon as our clients step back in the property, any time of the year, they will always have this same feeling of protection.
It's a great vibe that you have here. And I think also, if your kids are older, if they're teens, because there's proximity to all those eateries and restaurants and bars, adults, they can just leave their teens in the room and then go out for a drink and then come back to the hotel and not have to worry because there is so much to do, right? You're not in the middle of nowhere.
No. You are. You are in the middle. And actually, as we said before, you can just crossing the bridge.
Yeah.
You get into this area, which is it gives you also a different vibe. So it's definitely probably the best location.
Okay. On that note, everybody, thank you for watching another episode of our podcast live. This time from
Palazzo Ripetta. Ciao a tutti.
Ciao.
Arrivederci.
Grazie.
Ciao.